Hey guys, they say wonder shall never cease to end. I am telling you, God has vindicated Nnamdi Kanu. And with what is happening right now, Nigerian government have nowhere to hold this man. They are just looking for every means possible to make sure that they crucify him. But I am telling you, they not feel hold him anywhere for hand. On the May 8th, Nnamdi Kanu appeared in court. The witness of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu-led Nigerian government to testify that the killing of Ahmed Gulak in Imo State, that was 2021, was done by Nnamdi Kanu and his group, that is IPOB. Well, even when he mentioned that, the presiding judge interjected it to say, I beg, this one not day in file. Okay, that one day one side. Apart from that, in 2021, Governor of Imo State, Uzodinma, said, IPOB members are not responsible for that, for the killing of Gulak. You understand? He distanced IPOB people, IPOB members. He said that was political whatever you get. Meanwhile, he never just reached how many minutes when this thing happened in court. Vanguard don't begin the carrier. It everywhere. They say Nnamdi Kanu do this, he kill good luck and all that. I don't really know what Vanguard is trying to do. Are they trying to incite people against Nnamdi Kanu or against the Igbo? You understand? Because this is just like trying to cause problem between the North and the Southeasterners. This is the same thing they have said it before now. The governor of Imo State have said it that was a political whatever, and now Vanguard is carrying it. But you see, people have come out with a proof. You get, thank God for social media. Please, I want you to watch this video and see what people who have reacted to this have to say. I'll be right back.
Gulak. Also, during the second prosecution witness during the cross-examination revealed that Kanu's calls for sit-at-home orders in southeastern states led to the killings of innocent citizens. He said that Kanu directly ordered or caused the death of Sergeant Odu Lucas, a private, Glory Matthew, and Gulak. He disclosed that the victims were not only killed, but that they were also beheaded by Kanu's followers who were enforcing the sit-at-home directive. He also detailed how a coordinated investigation confirmed that these killings were carried out from Kanu's supporters. They provided additional details of the widespread violence triggered by his broadcast. Now, guess what happened? They also mentioned that Kanu's testimony revealed that the followers set fire to police stations in Sele and Ilasa, both in Lagos, and destroyed about 100 luxury buses owned by the Lagos state government. Now, Kanu denied all of these claims. He said that why would he order for those things to be banned when Lagos state is not a Biafran state? Now, if you recall that the NSAS protest was tagged, they called it an Igbo protest because of what happened when obviously the protest was carried out by all Nigerians from different ethnic groups. But because of that incident, they linked it to the broadcast and said that it was an Igbo protest. How do you react to this? Nnamdi Kanu has distanced himself from that, saying that what happened in Lagos had nothing to do with him. He said that he did not ask anyone to destroy any property in Lagos. He also mentioned the fact that the broadcast did not necessarily necessitate.
Said we were not protesting. Quite a couple of others said we were not protesting. Quite a couple of others still protested in the north. And in the whole of southern Nigeria, there were protests against police activities because of the way they were handling the youth. And then it even recognized, it received international recognition. And the SARS was condemned to the extent that the agency was disbanded and replaced with what they call SWAT then. Whether the SWAT is still operational or whether SARS has come back in another disguise is a story for another day. But it is very shameful for any human being to begin to ascribe it to the Igbos. If in the course of NSAS protest things were damaged, as unfortunate as it was, it will be very bad for any human being to reason or say or even pretend to mean that these were Igbo protests. That is regurgitating the evils of the first coup, military coup in Nigeria that happened on 15 January 1966, which was ignominiously and shamelessly tagged Igbo coup. Even when people knew exactly that it was obviously not an Igbo coup. Then Nnamdi Kanu had always said that he never had wanted people to sit at home. And anybody who is looking at issues with respect to the agitation of for Biafra should separate the line between that drawn by Nnamdi Kanu and that drawn by Simon Eba. It's important to know that. Nnamdi Kanu has several times, even while in detention, said that he never called for sit at home. He never called for anything that will affect the life of the people that he was fighting for. And even when there was challenges of the unknown gunmen, we continue to ask the federal government through the agencies, the security agencies of the government, to pinpoint who the unknown gunmen were. And if the agencies of the federal government, all of them, Army, Air Force, Navy, SSS, National Intelligence, and the rest of them, the police, if they could not pinpoint who the unknown government were, that means they just relapsed and went for to call a dog a bad name in order to hang it, and simply said they were IPOB officials. We needed them to be apprehended, and even when some were apprehended somewhere in Imo State, one of the men was found out to be an SSS official. When he was searched, and the identity card on him was that of an SSS. When he died in the gun battle with the military, and the government swept it under the carpet. So such narratives should not sway even the reasoning of the court. And anybody who is bringing such narrative does not love Nigeria. The challenges that we face today, challenge of insecurity that has been the main bane of Nigerians' current living, is one that should be taken seriously and not one that will be allowed to be politicized. I think what they are only trying to do is to politicize the insecurity situation in the country by calling a dog a bad name. And so every bad thing that happened in southern Nigeria, they will say it was Nnamdi Kanu. I think it's a very big shame for anybody to say so. Even when he has been in detention for the most part of since 2015, when he was arrested, he was in detention. When he was given bail, the same military chased him out of Nigeria, and he was apprehended and brought back in 2021, and has also been in detention ever since then. They should know what to tell Nigerians, because we are all not fools. We are listening, and we know where the water has passed under the bridge.
All right, Barrister Fred Nzako, like I asked you earlier, Nnamdi Kanu said that any involvement or activities of IPOB, as they said, was organized in the Southeast, that he doesn't have any involvement with that, and that IPOB cannot be associated with that because he said that IPOB is a peaceful organization. But in the same vein, he said again that anything that happened in Lagos is not attributed to him, despite the broadcasts having to simultaneously percolate or circulate at the time. He also faulted the manner of his arrest. He criticized invasion of his residence by armed soldiers, which he claims led to his fleeing the country for fear of his life, taken by them. He further condemned his subsequent arrest in Kenya and extradition back to Nigeria. So, Paul Erukoro, that is the defense lawyer of Nnamdi Kanu, requested an adjournment to prepare for cross-examination, and the trial will commence on May 14, 21 and 22, 2025. So, some analysts like yourself has said, is it possible for Nnamdi Kanu to apologize for the statements that were made, possibly in the heat of the moment, not necessarily intending for his broadcast to have elicited the reaction as alleged by this DSS official? Others have asked questions that if somebody asks you to put your hand in a fire just because you regard the person, would you go put your hand in a fire if you know that the fire will hurt you? So why ascribing his broadcast to certain elements that took place when he cannot directly be attributed to what transpired? How do you react to this situation?
It is the duty of the court to separate the wheat from the chaff. It is also the duty of the court to separate an utterance from and action. In most criminal adjudication, we are looking at actions. We are looking at causes and the effect. If Nnamdi Kanu made statements that some other accusers, why have they not apprehended those who committed the actions directly and physically? If the government is not doing well and we criticize the government, does it mean that any other person should go and go to Eagle Square and start to stone the seat of power? There must be a difference between action and words. Even though some people will now begin to argue, oh, what happened between Hutus and Tutsis and what is our country in Kigali, in Rwanda, emanated from words, but that was on the realm of hate speech that did not emanate from one man. There is no way one man will sit anywhere and direct your action when obviously he does not control your life. And that is why we have always asked the security agencies to go straight to those who commit offenses and not to sit down and be looking at who said what. Because if you don't sit down and be looking at who said what, you're only looking for a low-hanging fruit. The crux of the matter is who has committed a particular infraction and who has committed a particular crime. Under the terrorist situation that Nigeria has been unfortunately experiencing since 2009, so many people have made statements that you could say were infuriating, but the government never went against them.
Can you recall when an Islamic cleric actually called for the assassination of the president's wife? Can you remember?
The Islamic cleric made such a call. Was he arrested?
No, he wasn't arrested.
Cleric sometime even called that asked for the assassination of Mr. President when Jonathan was in power. Was he arrested? The people that the 400 names that were given to the federal government as sponsors of terrorism in Nigeria, was any of them arrested? These are all the basic things you should ask. And then the people that carry AK-47 openly, moving from one point to another, without any authorization or any authority from law, have they ever been arrested? And now you now say that one man will sit somewhere and he said, oh, go and apprehend Mr. President. And you said the man has committed a crime because he said go and apprehend Mr. President. If we want to be lawful in a country, we do not want to make two laws, one for Mr. A and one for Mr. B. Nigeria should not be operating on two pendulums. You are swinging on the right against the people. You are swinging on the left in favor of the rich or in favor of some other people in the same country. There cannot be two laws for the same people in any environment, and you expect peace to reign. So I think what the court must look through is the separate statement from actions. Action is what is important in any criminal trial, and not statement. Statements could go into the realm of assault, realm of insult, and realm of a tortious act, and not issue of criminality.
Well,
the man who is found with the gun should answer for his crime.
Well, Nnamdi Kanu has actually distanced himself from what transpired based on the reported testimony of the DSS official. He said the movement that he leads, which is IPOB, is not violent, and that in a democracy people have the right to protest. He never ordered anyone to kill. He also asked about when he was asked about the attacks on public institutions and all of that, Kanu denied any direct connection, reiterating IPOB's philosophy of non-violence. Meanwhile, he's challenging the prosecution's attempt to blame him for the death of Ahmed Gulak, questioning the evidence linking IPOB to the incident. That's basically what his legal counsel is actually putting out there.
The police at then said that Ahmed Gulak was killed on his way from the airport in Imo State.
Yes.
By unknown gunmen.
Exactly.
Up to today, the gunmen have not been identified.
So how come are they linking those unknown gunmen to IPOB? How are they linking that to him?
That is calling a dog a bad name in order to hang it. Our non-government does not mean IPOB, and IPOB does not mean non-government. The security agencies have a responsibility to tell Nigerians who are the unknown government. They cannot be unknown for years and unknown permanently, only for them to turn around and say they are IPOB. The philosophy of IPOB is agitation without violence. And that was why when IPOB was declared a terrorist organization, the whole world laughed at Nigeria because the lies were very barefaced and very open. And all over the world, there's no place where IPOB is recognized as such. It was only the wicked administration of President Muhammad Buhari that targeted IPOB, a terrorist organization. They are freedom fighters. They are agitators for self-determination. And they are not alone. There are other agitators in Yoruba land. There are agitators in the South. There are agitators in the North, in the Middle Belt. And there are agitators all over the country. And each agitator is entitled to his opinion and entitled to freedom of association. And it is the duty of the government to look into the agitation and solve whatever the agitation problems are and make Nigeria to remain one. Remember that some people that went to Ibadan about 2 years ago and hoisted the flag of a Yoruba group, of a Yoruba nation, and tried to sack the House of Assembly in Ibadan. What has happened to them? Can you call them?
They were arrested. They were arrested that very day. Maybe
where is the matter today? A lot of them have been let off the hook. The leader of that organization, Professor Banji Akintoye, was not arrested and nothing happened to him. And because he knows what he was talking about, we supported him then because of the fact that there must be freedom of association. We must negotiate our mutual existence as a nation. And that is why I keep telling Nigerians that if we try to restructure this country, we may be driven to the point where there will be dismantling of the structure itself, and that will spell doom for the entity called Nigeria. The earlier we catch the black goat during the day before it gets dark.
Alright guys, thank you for staying to the end of this video. So what's your take on this? Let's hear from you. Kindly drop your comment below the comment section. Thank you. See you in my next video. Bye for now.